Hey, I'm Brian. This is Nate. We are a director-DP duo out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Today we're going to talk about how we made our short film, I'm Not a Robot.
We are going to go through pre-production, on-set shooting, and then post-production in this video. So strap in and get ready for it.
Hello, Paul.
So a little backstory and why in the absolute we made this thing in the first place was we had the studio that we work out of, they were just having their grand opening release party. And so it was a big film showcase. And so the guys there at the Midnight Corner asked us to be a part of it and basically make a short film.
The idea for the film came from an old phone note from 2016 that said, what if a CAPTCHA went too far? Which just sounds like a bad SNL skit idea. But after brainstorming for a bit, we were able to find a way to make it dramatic. And we chose an old man to be the main character because we felt like you could immediately sympathize with old people because they're hella cute. And we wrote the script in a day and we were ready to go.
So after writing the script, we knew we needed some visuals behind it, so it was time to make a storyboard. What we did for that, since none of us can really draw too well, is rather than doing that, we used Shot Deck, which is a collection of frames from movies, music videos, commercials. And Nate basically went in, got frames to match up. So like for the void scenes, he used, the Matrix, not Neo, but Morpheus. And then the next step was, okay, let's go to the location that we think we might use, which ended up being one of our friends' house, and scout it out and show up with a camera that has, a similar focal length that we're gonna be able to shoot on that day. So we can basically put Nate in natural light in some of the scenes that we're gonna shoot and say, okay, this looks good. Okay, hey, we're gonna need to pump in light. So when we showed up to set the day to shoot, we knew exactly what we needed to do where, exactly where we needed to go. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we did on this was having the location and tech scout kind of mixed together.
The last thing on our list was to cast our talent. We made a casting call in a Facebook group and got a bunch of submissions from a lot of senior citizen actors, which was really inspiring. And also we got some really funny ones as well. We ended up casting Tom after Brian ran into an old friend from college and asked him, by any chance does your grandpa act? And he did, and we ended up casting him, and he was perfect for it. Shout out Tom.
So the first thing that we decided when we were shooting this thing was, okay, we could shoot it on our Sonys or we could shoot it on our Blackmagics, but we wanted to take it up just a notch slightly in terms of that. And obviously it was self-funded, so we didn't have a huge rental budget. What we were able to do is trade 2 DaVinci Resolve license keys to 2 different people, one for the camera, one for the lenses. And so we were able to shoot on a red Komodo and then I believe some Contax Zeiss lenses that were rehoused into this nice cinema housing, which made them super easy to switch on set and everything. And it added so much dimension to the image. And I knew when we were getting prepared to shoot this, I wanted to have something that would have almost a 3D feeling for the image, which you don't always get from these Sony cameras or your typical Sigma 24-70. There's some screenshots by Paul Myers. There's one right on his website. He's this incredible DP, and there's this one shot of this older gentleman, or it might be a lady, I'm not entirely sure, but it's this shot that it seems to pop out of the screen no matter how you look at it. And it's just obviously a little bit of lighting, but a little bit of just the lenses it was shot on. And that's what I wanted to do with this, with Tom's face, is make it pop out at you.
Our directing approach was to be much more neutral and reserved with the performance. Tom was classically trained in theater, and in theater, you're like 50 feet away from the subject as an audience member. So you need big gestures, big emotions in the face. But with this, we were like 6 inches away from your eyes. So we told Tom to just dial it all the way down, even for reacting to, if you're on the laptop and you're reading something, it's not really this or, oh. It's just like, you're just on your laptop. You're just reading and we're projecting our emotions onto you, but we tried to make it more realistic that way. Another thing was we used a monitor for me and Brian to look at as directors. It's a lot different than, seeing a scene in the room if you're 12 feet away. I was helpful to contextualize the whole story in the frame with the mood, the lighting, what he was doing, the micro gestures with his face. If you watch the film, he's got very expressive eyebrows that are twitching a lot, and that's how he showed stress or sadness was a lot in the eyebrows. So you got to pick up all those details using the monitor.
For this first lighting setup, we had, Tom's right here, camera over on this side, and then on the left side of Tom's face we had a big 4-grid of diffusion with an aperture 300D punching through that. The 4-grid allowed it to diffuse the light a little bit more than what a half-grid would do. And then behind Tom right here, he had a little lamp that we put an aperture B7C in for, you know, looks on camera. And then we had this very fancy little light mat. I think it was 2 feet by 2 feet. And that we just tuned to the same color temperature as the light bulb to add a little, you know, warm glow on the back of Tom's head. So that was the couch scene. Next was the sick bed scene. This was, you know, the Komodo with a little bit handheld going on the Dana dolly here. And basically we negged everything that the camera couldn't see here. And then we had some shears up over the window with a Nova punching in through there, as well as an aperture 120D with the spotlight attachment, kind of cutting some light to get like a hard slash across the bed that she was laying in. And then we boomed that little light panel, the light mat thing that we had. So it was light motivated from the lamp behind Ellie's head. And that just gave some warm glow on her face that you can see in some of the close-ups more so. And one of my favorite shots that we got this whole entire shoot was here, and I'm not entirely sure what the light was, but it was this beautiful eye light in Tom's eyes with just this completely dark silhouette, and then he was being lit by the Nova from outside, and I just thought that was such a cool shot that it's like, okay, we got the cool shot. You know, every shoot you go into, you want to have one banger that comes out at least where you're like, you know, this is pretty cool. I'd put this on a webpage or something. So I was pretty stoked on that shot there.
We edited the whole project together on DaVinci Resolve. Your boy is more of a Premiere guy, but Brian wanted to edit it on DaVinci. He was like, it's way better. And so I sat at the same desk as him, and we chose all our favorite takes, made sure the flow was right, and basically dialed it in frame by frame together. And I got to learn DaVinci in the process. And I think that was definitely the best way to go about it, to make sure the story was coming together as we both envisioned it in our heads. I also did the sound design. We had some pretty rough outside audio, definitely not my fault. I had to recreate a lot of soundscapes from scratch, just using, you know, room tone and very subtle cloth movement sound effects and turning them way down and adding a little bit of reverb. We were able to recreate a lot of the scenes, which was super fun.
Color. This was a pretty simple project to color because we lit everything so great on set. It wasn't too bad to actually color it. The beginning scenes of him in the chair were lit the same as the final scenes of him in the chair, but they look completely different. And that was literally as simple as just taking the color temperature and making it bluer. One of my favorite tips I like telling people is if they color in DaVinci Resolve, next time you make a project, add a node near the end and add in glow and change it to soft light rather than add. And it will just change how your footage looks. It brings a lot of the levels down, but it adds so much character and dimension to their footage. And I think that's what kind of gave this project a little bit of its final oomph.
After 2 weeks, we had a finished product and we debuted it at the Midnight Corner showcase party. It was a great feeling, showing something that we made to 250 people and going on that emotional journey with them. It was awesome to see like gasps and reactions to it. One guy even said, Jesus Christ, because it was just like this medley of emotions of being slightly funny and then sad and then heartfelt and then you're back to the real world. It was just awesome like being there and experiencing that with people. The night was super fun and it turned into a massive party afterwards and we got after it.
Thanks for watching, you guys. We hope you learned some stuff, had some fun along the way.
And you can watch some more lighting breakdowns on this guy's channel. We have a podcast. We have raw, uncut BTS. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
The heart can be broken.
Ooh!
Kmart.
Yeah, Walmart.
Walmart.
Nice.
These are a restaurant. These are what you wear as a line chef. A line cook, right?
She said, you look hammered. And I said, we were outside for a couple hours. It was cold.
We're an hour behind schedule. No problem. It's going terribly. We're an hour behind schedule. Everyone's falling apart.
Arrivederci Roma. Goodbye.